What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Casa D18 Studios channel, and it is time once again for another brand new installment of The War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, the show where I bring to you a look at the newest films to be added to my vast and growing collection. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I said during the introduction, it's time once again to enter the war zone, the weekly acquisition report, where once again I'm going to be giving you guys a look at some DVDs here that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I've got about 10 of them, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to go over today and show off to you guys from my recent travels. Let's get right into it here, shall we? Now, the first one we're going to get in today is a film called Pawn Sacrifice, and it stars Tobey Maguire, Liev Schreiber, and Peter Sarsgaard. And it's essentially the story of Bobby Fischer. Some of you guys may have heard of the film from the 90s, Searching for Bobby Fischer. This is Bobby's story. It says, in a gripping true story set during the height of the Cold War, American chess prodigy Bobby Fischer, played by Tobey Maguire, finds himself caught between two superpowers when he challenges the Soviet Empire. Also starring Liev Schreiber and Peter Sarsgaard, Pawn Sacrifice chronicles Fischer's terrifying struggles with genius and madness, and the rise and fall of a kid from Brooklyn who captured the imagination of the world. Now, I've seen Searching for Bobby Fischer before, but I've never actually seen Bobby's story before. So this is going to be an interesting watch for me. The next one I have is a film called Danny Collins. And this one stars Al Pacino, Annette Bening, Jennifer Garner, Bobby Cannavale, and Christopher Plummer. So, as if I wasn't already sold on the cast, the tagline here on the front says, "A letter from John Lennon changed his life." Now, as some of you may remember, I'm a huge Beatles fanatic. So I see Pacino, Bening, Garner, Cannavale, Plummer. I see John Lennon, and I'm intrigued. And the synopsis of this one says Al Pacino stars as aging 1970s rocker Danny Collins, who can't give up his hard living ways. But when his manager, played by Christopher Plummer, uncovers a 40-year-old undelivered letter written to him by John Lennon, he decides to change course and embarks on a heartfelt journey to rediscover his family, find true love, and begin a second act. Featuring an incredible soundtrack with songs by John Lennon, critics are calling Danny Collins a must-see crowd pleaser, says Scott Mantz from Access Hollywood. I'm sold right there. Like I said, you see Pacino, Bening, Garner, Cannavale, Plummer, and a letter from John Lennon changed this man's life. I'm sold. I am very much looking forward to watching this film. I got the remake of RoboCop, the 1980s film that was remade. I want to say it was like 2015, with Samuel L. Jackson in it, Joel Kinnaman, Michael Keaton. Growing up in the 80s, RoboCop was a big deal, so I'm curious to see what they did with the remake here. Also starring Samuel L. Jackson, amongst others, namely Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, I found M. Night Shyamalan's Glass on DVD. Now, I've never really seen any of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. I don't even think I've seen The Sixth Sense, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm curious to watch this, curious to see how things unravel. I know M. Night Shyamalan is kind of known for his twists and his turns, but the cast in this one really intrigued me. Again, growing up when I did, growing up in the mid 90s, there was one thing that we could not escape in 1994, which honestly was my graduation year, and that was the O.J. Simpson case. I found The Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, starring Mina Suvari as Nicole Brown Simpson. Inspired by true events, the film follows O.J. Simpson's ex wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, in the final days leading up to her tragic death on June 12th, 1994, as seen from her point of view. It questions what role, if any, did Glenn Rogers, also known as the Casanova Killer, play in the murder. Very curious to check this out. This looks like it was made for TV movie style film, but Mina Suvari, Taryn Manning, and Nick Stahl for $1.25, I was willing to give it a chance. Like I've said before on some of these videos, $1.25 is about what I would pay back in the day. Rent a movie from the warehouse, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster Video. It's about what you'd pay to Redbox a movie these days, unless you have a free code or something. So $1.25. If I watch it and it sucks, I can always donate it to a Goodwill, Salvation Army. I can try to sell it at a yard sale, whatever. We got the suspense thriller We Belong Together with Charles Malik Whitfield, Drea Michelle, and Elise Neal. And it's basically one of your Fatal Attraction type of movies. Professor Thomas Lewis is trying to put his life back together after his divorce. He's working towards earning a 90-day chip after suffering from alcoholism. And that's when he is approached by a beautiful new student named Tracy, who soon makes her amorous intentions known to him. Though they do, in fact, have a passionate affair, Thomas decides to break it off for ethical purposes. Soon after, his ex wife is involved in a car crash and ends up in the hospital. And that's when Tracy's true, disturbed nature is revealed, to the horror of the entire family. Again, it sounds like one of those Fatal Attraction type of movies, but sometimes they're good, other times they're horrid. We'll see where this falls into the spectrum there. Inspired by a true story, it's a film called Pentagram. On the run from a string of petty robberies en route from New York to Los Angeles, a group of teenagers find themselves holed up in a decaying house deep in the woods. Exploring the house, Holly encounters Oliver, a mysterious Englishman who is lying in the middle of a candle-lit pentagram. Oliver entices Holly inside the pentagram, quickly followed by the rest of the gang. Oliver then reveals that they all are now cursed to spend the rest of their lives inside the pentagram, or else face certain death if they go outside of it. Unconvinced by Oliver's story, Max pushes him out of the pentagram, whereupon he is instantly killed by a horrific demon entity. Sounds like some spooky stuff, some otherworldly stuff, demons. Could be very interesting. I do like horror. I do like cheesy horror. Speaking of cheesy horror, all the creatures were stirring. O come, all ye evil. It's basically a cross between horror and Christmas. Another reason to dread the season. I'd read the description, but the print is too small on here for me to really see with the lighting. Ho, 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 the joyful spirit of the holidays is about to take one dark turn after another. From sadistic office parties and last-minute shopping nightmares to vengeful stalkers and immortal demons, there's plenty out there to keep you from getting out of bed to see what's under the tree this holiday season. Constance Wu from Crazy Rich Asians and Jonathan Kite from Two Broke Girls headline a sensational ensemble cast in this devilish stocking stuffer of a movie. Again, all the creatures were stirring. We'll see what happens when I put this one on. Again, like I said, I like horror, I like cheesy horror, I like Christmas. So we'll see how they try to tie everything together. Again, speaking of cheesy horror, the Roger Corman Drive-In Collection. 5 films directed by Roger Corman. We've got The Beast from Haunted Cave, The Wild Ride, The Fast and the Furious. No, not related to the Vin Diesel Paul Walker films. T-Bird Game and High School Big Shot. All movies that star, amongst other people, we've got Jack Nicholson, John Ireland, Tony Miller, Dorothy Malone. Got a bunch of pretty recognizable names in these movies. Roger Corman, of course, did the original Little Shop of Horrors, which I covered last year during my 31 Days of Horror. So 5 other movies by him. We'll see what happens there. TNT Jackson, a collection alongside 7 other films, including the Once a Thief trilogy, South Bronx Heroes, which stars Mario Van Peebles, The Final Come Down, Lady Coco, and a film called Velvet Smooth. Never heard of any of these before, but again, 7 movies, 8 movies for $1.25. Why not? Give it a try. The Very Best of Betty White on Television collection. We've got episodes from Life After Elizabeth and Date with the Angels. 20 episodes of each show starring the beloved Betty White, who we of course lost last year. So to see her in some of these other fare, other than Golden Girls, it's going to be kind of fun to check those out. And last but not least, the complete second season of The Partridge Family. Again, for $1.25, you can't go wrong with The Partridge Family. They're so cheesy and so lovable. What do you guys think of all of these? Have you seen any of them? Let me know. All the creatures were stirring. Pentagram, TNT Jackson, the remake of RoboCop, Glass, Pawn Sacrifice. Have you seen any of these? Let me know what to expect because I haven't seen any of these before. So these are all going to be brand new to me. Even the Partridge Family. I've only seen bits and pieces, maybe an episode here, episode there. I've never sit through the entire series. So it's all going to be a new experience for me. Have you seen Danny Collins? Let me know what to expect. Let me know what to think. Let me know your thoughts. I look forward to it. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Share this video with your family, your friends, other cinephiles, other movie lovers, other movie collectors. Get the word out there about my show. Try to boost up my visibility in the YouTube algorithms. Just try to get me noticed here so I can eventually get monetized. I appreciate each and every one of you who tuned in today. Thank you for joining me once again here on the War Zone, the weekly acquisition report. And until next week, I will see you guys next time.